I already like really come off, I think like aggressive and unapproachable. At least that's what my mother told me for years. But anyway,
yeah. Yeah, Emma and Tyson from Crooked Teeth on. Folks, chats, get excited. I have crooked teeth, so I'm super excited to talk to the band Crooked Teeth.
We're your poster children.
Yes, yeah, you're my spirit music.
Yeah, spirit.
Yeah, my mom and dad didn't get me braces when I was a kid for whatever reason. Like, just they were like, oh, you know, they're fine. You'll be okay. And now I'm like 35. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I really should have gotten those. That should have been a thing that happened.
That's so funny because my dad said the same thing about like tonsils and teeth. He's like, I didn't do anything about it, and now I just like I'm always biting on my cheek. And,
oh man!
But we'll get there. You know what?
Yeah, you know, healthcare is a son of a bitch.
We're just one Ponzi scheme away from being able to fix our.
There you go.
You know.
There you go. I was thinking about that today, man. It's so weird. Cause did you guys hear about that band Cliff Diver?
Yeah, it was awful,
dude. It was
I was so upset.
Such a horrible story. And then, of course, like as soon as it happened, like the first thing that was set up was a GoFundMe for, you know, the guy's, you know, medical expenses. And like, I 100% support GoFundMes for medical expenses. Absolutely. I think it sucks so much that that's what the go-to is now, because you have to, like, every time there's a medical emergency, it's like, all right, who's setting up the GoFundMe? Like, who's getting this going? Like, it just sucks that there's like no other way around it, from especially for a musician, a touring musician. Like, you don't have insurance most of the time, and like you're not getting paid that much to play at fucking bars and stuff. So
yeah, it's pretty I mean, we could go, that's a whole other topic we could go on about for a long time. But to think that being able to take care of yourself should be some gratuitous charitable thing, when it's really, it's like everyone should be allotted the, you know, ability to survive, like without having to, I don't know, suffer financially. Like, it's ridiculous. And some freak accident like that like he never asked for that, you know? So it's, I mean, shit, man.
Yeah, like just traveling around playing and, you know, going venue to venue. Like, again, freak accident. Like, never in a million years could you calculate that happening. Like, yeah. And, you know, it makes you think back to the days too when, you know, artists and musicians like in the 50s and stuff, like they were actually paid a livable wage to perform at a venue every night. They had like residencies and all that shit. And man, now you gotta, I hope you get enough Spotify streams to make it work.
Yeah, I guess so.
Speaking of Spotify, you guys just dropped this song Drink Bleach not too long ago, right? Like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
How's the response been to that?
It's been
pretty
really
cool.
Great.
Yeah. We actually, like, it just went into rotation on Faction yesterday too.
I saw that. Very cool.
So, really stoked about that. And I think that's like a good place for it to just like, I don't know. I think that song's like a perfect blend of, I mean, musically at least, it's the perfect blend of all the bands that we're into, you know? I mean, there's like hard rock elements and there's pop punk and emo elements. And so, yeah, I love it. I'm really excited it's out. That was like the first one we wrote for the record, I feel like. Maybe. I feel like that was the first thing we went in and started on.
Yeah, we might have done Over Myself before, but it was one of the first ones that like I demoed out that I sent to the guys that they were like, this is sick.
Yeah. I remember immediately, it's funny because you did that video, the used comparison.
Yeah.
And when she sent me that, I was like, oh, this is giving it was, I think it was pretty Handsome Awkward. Thinking. And the funny thing is though, when I was trying to explain how to do the song, I was using one of their more recent singles, Blow Me, as the example. And so that song is definitely, at least when she sent the riff, I was like, this gives the used energy.
For sure.
I love that because I've always wanted to kind of have some subtleties of that in the band. So
yeah, it's funny, when I made that video, for anyone that hasn't seen it, I compared the song to Pretty Handsome Awkward by The Used. And because when I heard that track, that's what it made me think of. And I went on YouTube and I looked up "Pretty Handsome Awkward" to make my video. And I noticed it only had like 800,000 views on YouTube. And I was like, oh my god, like how does that have so many like small views? Like it's such an underrated track. So like that was my hook, was like, do you love this underrated track by The Used? And then everyone's commenting like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like that's one of the most popular songs. I'm like, what? And then I went and checked. Turns out the video I was looking at was not the official video, and the official video does have like 13 million views. I'm like, oops. All right, well.
That's funny, man.
Whatever drives engagement, though, right?
Yeah, I was like, it's so funny when people get like so heated about stuff like that. Though they're just like, what's your problem, you idiot? You don't even know the views, and you're just like, dude, chill, my bro.
Well, I mean, you make content on all the platforms as well. Like, like just like the toxicity and not the good System of a Down kind, but like the shitty like comment sections. Like, it's just so like, people get so up in arms and people get so like angry and like, and are just so like attached to the music. And it's like they like, death threats and slurs and all that shit. It's like, bro, we're talking about Metallica here. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Like, everyone calm down. Like, it's not that serious.
We're talking about 3 days grace here.
Yeah, like it's not like we're talking about like some high pressure politics. Or that's what's crazy too, is I feel like music is such like a low stakes conversation. Like it shouldn't really affect your day to day, but some people, man, they let it go.
That's funny. So true.
Do you ever have trouble like with just trolls in the comment sections on your stuff?
Oh, dude, I made this video of our drummer, Jason, is so good. Like one of the best drummers I have ever played with or seen. And he sent us this video of him tracking drums in the studio with doing a bunch of stick tricks and stuff too.
Yeah.
And I posted this video that was like a joke about like watching your drummer flawlessly nail takes just to know that like it's all going to be quantized anyway. And it's like our most viewed video on TikTok.
Yeah.
People got so mad about it. I'm like, first of all, he's so absurdly good. Second of all, it's not that serious.
Right.
Third of all, maybe don't know.
I know. Yeah.
Anyway, so
yeah, I think it's funny. I try not to like, I try to be like present, but I don't really, man, it's crazy watching people tear each other apart on the internet. It's like a thing that it drives my anxiety up the wall. So I'm just like, I just want people to just digest who we are as people, and our music, and I don't know what we're into. And other than that, I would prefer not to be involved in controversy or anything.
Right, exactly.
It's not that serious. Like, our songs are cool and mean a lot to us.
Yeah.
But we as people just want to have fun, I think, and not sit and be a part of that too much.
Dude, it's too draining. Like you can get pulled into a conversation or like just like an argument with somebody on social media, and you can spend like half your day going back and forth, and it's like, dude, this isn't a good use of my time. Like, there's better things I could be doing right now.
Yeah, it's so true. But then you could also just sit and like, you could just talk about music and cool things also. So maybe just try to manifest more of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hang on a second. I gotta close this window. This glare is fucking nuts. All right, cool. I was like, oh, that doesn't bother me too much. I can ignore it. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna be thinking about the whole fucking interview if I just don't go there and close it. All right, there we go. So
welcome back.
Back to Drink Bleach. Emma, you wrote this track, right?
I mean, we wrote it collaboratively, but it started with a riff that I wrote. I think I wrote like the bulk of it, but I know I had the idea for this riff, and I live in LA and Tyson lives in SF, so I like sent it to him, and like I demoed it and sent it to him, and he was like, this is so sick, we should totally work on this. And then we FaceTimed, and I was like, I have this other like lyric idea, like I'd rather drink bleach than be your friend.
Right.
And he was like, yo, that goes hard, like let's do that. And he was like, wouldn't it be sick if you were like, I'd rather be a bitch than play pretend? And I was like, yeah, but I don't really like I don't like the idea of like referring to myself as a bitch or like,
For sure.
really in general, like using that word, especially like in regards to women at
Right.
all, or like want to be perceived that way. I already like really come off, I think like aggressive and unapproachable. At least that's what my mother told me for years. But
Oh
anyway,
my God.
so I was like, I don't. But then we were doing this like FaceTime and writing session, and we just like left it there,
Yeah.
and moved on, and like I think like a week went by or so, and I thought about it, and I was like, the line goes so hard. Like, what else can that mean? And then
Yeah.
I had this like interaction. I was working at a Starbucks at the time, and someone like commented on me having RBF. And I was just like, I got so mad, and it's
Resting
like,
bitch face for anyone not in the know.
yeah, I got so upset because I was like, dude, this is just my face. Like, this is just the way that I
Yeah.
am. I just look like this, and honestly, it's kind of rude for you to like comment on the way that like I look, and like I am not here. Ultimately, regardless of whether I look angry or not, like I am not here for your pleasure, your enjoyment.
Right.
I do not have to look good for you.
Here to give you coffee.
Leave me alone.
Suck my ass.
So yeah, I got like really pissed about it, and then I got kind of like introspective about like, I mean, I've gotten that kind of thing for years. I just like, it was the combination of having just had this like kind of writing ish session with Tyson and thinking about that, like,
Yeah.
and then having that experience like shortly after that. And it's funny, I actually was talking to a coworker of mine at the time, who that guy like is super snarky and sassy, and he really has RBF pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dude, do people ever like comment on that for you? And he was like, no, because I'm a man.
Yeah.
And I was like, true.
Right.
True. So, because I also like deny my own experience a lot. So I was like, man, this is just because I'm a woman, and like people expect me to like be pleasant all the time. And if like men look angry, then like no one comments on it. Like,
Yeah. You're just brooding if you're a dude.
yeah, exactly. And then I like, had that conversation with him, and he's like, it's because you're a woman.
Yeah.
And I was like, true. You just validated me. Thank you. Now I'm gonna go write this song about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then that's kind of
yeah, I love that. Because when I heard the song the first couple times, like, I didn't know the backstory to it, and like I just thought it was a banging ass song, And then I heard the backstory later on, and it's so true. Like, I love that it came from that place. Like, my wife, she suffers from RBF too. She's a survivor, and like she just like. She constantly has people saying that to her. We'll go to like family events, and everyone will be like, "Are you okay? You look tired." And it's like, why is that something you would say to, like, you should never tell somebody they look tired. Like, what response do you ever have? Like, oh no, this is just my face, And like, yeah, she definitely like has dealt with that, like, as long as I've known her, and before, just like people like, why don't you smile? Like, act like you're having fun. And it's like, you don't have to always be putting on a show. Like, you can just like be yourself, and that's what's unfortunate too, is like just being yourself is all of a sudden like not enough for everyone else around you. And I think that is, like you said, way more prevalent for women, and especially in music. Like, I feel like women almost have this extra level that they have to prove themselves, and like an extra level they have to like they have to play just as good as the men or better, or they have to like they have to be really cool with the guys, but they can't be too flirty with the guy. Like, there's all these extra rules and stuff. Whereas like when it's a bunch of dudes hanging out, like, it doesn't matter. Like, have you felt like any kind of like additional pressure, just being in the music scene as a woman?
I mean, yes and no. It's really interesting that you asked that. I've had this conversation quite a bit in other areas of my life recently. I just don't. I'm kind of dense and don't perceive like I don't perceive stuff like that oftentimes. And then other people will be like, "Yo, did you see what just happened?" And I'm like, I'm living, like, fuck that dude,
Right.
I don't
Right.
care. So yeah, I think like it totally does happen, but it doesn't like I'm just here, I'm just vibing, doing my
Yeah.
thing, you
Well,
know.
I'm glad you're not letting it bring you down then. I'm glad you're not letting that be like a factor.
Yeah, I mean, it can it can be annoying sometimes, but it doesn't I think um I also like have a bit of a I think I have like a strong personality
Mm-hmm.
um and can be intimidating. So like it's
He's beat me up like 6 times
Yeah.
just for
Well,
fun. Not even like I didn't even do anything.
I don't try to, it's just the RBF. But anyway, so people don't really mess with me too much, but
yeah.
it that way.
You give me
But
vibes of if you guys ever watched Freaks and Geeks back in the day, the
I love Freaks and
I was
Geeks.
just
yeah.
listening. Oh my god, I was just listening to Paul Rudd's Armchair Expert episode last night.
Oh, I didn't seen that.
So good. Freaks and Geeks is one of my favorite shows.
So good. I can't believe it only lasted one season, right? It wasn't it. So wild. But yeah, you remind me of the lead lady from that from that show.
That.
In
Yeah,
a good
actually,
way. She's awesome. Yeah.
she had this army jacket in one episode that I remember like when I watched that like back in like early high school or whatever. I was like, I have to get an army jacket like that, and I actually literally just cleaned out my closet and got rid of that jacket.
Oh my god.
Yeah, bring it back.
Perfect cosplay.
Yeah.
I've been heavily debating getting a pair of camo pants lately. Like I just feel like that's my new era, you know.
What kind of camo? I'm the queen of camo pants.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of doing the camo
I got
thing right
some
now,
good
but
camos.
Shit,
like-
I don't know, man. I just see a lot of like a lot of cool camo pants. Like, yeah, something like that's cool. I like that. That's like the you're trying to actually hunt deer camo, right?
you know,
I don't know. I think this is swampier.
Swampy, yeah, swampy. I'm kind of
Yeah.
going for like more of the I think like the army cargo pocket kind of style. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll get a few pairs, like mix and match. Just get crazy
Well,
with it.
The Crooked Teeth show is coming to Cleveland, so if
I
you wanted
know.
an event to wear your camo
Yeah.
pants, that would be the one.
don't we have a camo t-shirt?
We have a camo T-shirt.
Oh, perfect. There you go. Two birds, one stone.
It's full transparency.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So you guys are coming to Cleveland in June, I believe, right?
Yeah, June 23rd.
You guys are going to be playing at Mahal's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just there on Friday night. I saw my buddies in Loveless. They sold the place out.
Cool.
It's a good set. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good venue. It's really cool. It's becoming like the new kind of like hip spot in Cleveland for like that, like not quite like big House of Blues size bands, but like the bands that are like about to be House of Blues size bands. Like, so yeah, it'll be a good spot for you guys for sure. You guys are on like a full tour, right?
Yeah, we got a lot of freaking shows coming up.
Who are you guys on with on this one?
Well, we got a couple shows with like Brick and Mortar and Pollyanna and Jiraiya. Those are in California. Then we're meeting up. We're doing 3 shows with Dwayne, which would be really cool.
Oh, Dwayne?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I love that dude. He's so cool.
Yeah, so we're doing 2 shows in Colorado and then Utah.
Nice.
And then we're doing some Midwest dates with this really cool punk band called Thick.
Oh yeah.
And so we're doing like Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis for the first time.
Yeah.
Come over your way in Ohio. So.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait to see you guys. Yeah, speaking of Dwayne, it made me think of this. I interviewed him one time, and I had known him, like, I talked to him before that. And, like, before the interview, we're bullshit. I'm like, so is there anything you, like, don't want to talk about in the interview? You want me to, like, keep out of this conversation? He's like, I just don't want to talk about relationship stuff. I'm like, okay. Like, why would I ever bring up whatever, you know? And then, like, we do the whole interview. And the next day, I'm on Instagram, and I see, like, a photo of him with Willow. And it's like... you know, celebrity couple Dwayne and Willow is like on TMZ or something. I'm like, oh, that's why, you know. I had no idea.
That's funny.
But yeah, dude. Yeah, Cleveland will be dope. I can't wait to see you guys there. Are you guys?
We're in the room. We're in the little room.
Yeah, you guys in the apartment room. Yeah, which is cool. I haven't seen a show in the apartment yet, so that'll be sweet. You'll be my first apartment show.
We'll be right up, just staring at each other. It'll be so
get so close. I'm gonna be able to get some Tyson sweat on me while you're rocking out.
Well, we'll make everyone. That should be a camo only party.
Oh shit! Like a theme, like a camo theme. I like it.
Honestly, I feel like we could just rebrand that show.
I feel like I could honestly like dress the whole
Audience.
Yeah.
Dude, I like it, man. I think we should get that going. We should get that in motion somehow.
We should.
We-
what were you gonna say?
We filmed this music video for Loser in San Francisco, and I was like getting dressed, and I pulled out all my options for outfits, and Cami was like, the person that we did that song with, Cami was like, dude, you literally have only camo pants. Like you did nothing else. Like that's it. That's your
Yeah.
only options.
Hey, we're in the service, man. You know,
Right. It's service of punk rock.
Some veterans over here.
Fuck
so
yeah.
Trying to get our Purple Hearts.
So when you guys tour, is it you guys have a drummer, right?
We do, Jason.
Yeah. And then is it just the three of you guys?
Just the three of us.
So do you guys have to use backing tracks, or you just make it work as a three-piece?
Emma and I play guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and we also sing. We're, in case anyone on the internet didn't know, that we are singers in the band. Yeah, Jason plays drums, and we run a bass track.
Yeah.
But like we record the bass,
Right.
so
Right.
eat my ass. We don't care. You know, we still played it up.
Yeah, no judgment on this. So, yeah, I was going to ask you what you thought about, like, you know, everyone giving, that's become like a hot topic lately. Like, people giving like shit about backing track. It's like, especially in a situation like that where it's like there is not physically a bass player on stage. Like, what do you want him to do?
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like we're in a position, like we tour in a minivan,
Mhm.
so we don't really have the luxury at the moment of like having another person.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, like, but we still get up there and rock and have
Yeah.
a ton of and like I don't know. I'm not like as insecure about it as I think
Yeah.
we were initially. I think it's just important for people to see people playing instruments like
Yeah.
in capacity at this point in, you know, musical history. And I feel like I don't know. People will always be purists. It's the same people that are gonna go online and talk shit on a fucking TikTok video. It's
Right.
like, get over it, dude. Like
Same
you
kind of
know?
people that have a problem with auto tune or
Yeah, we
whatever.
wrote these songs and we're gonna play them like how we're gonna be able to play them.
Yeah.
You know?
It's also just like a different angle of like a different skill set. I think to like we don't just play the backing tracks. Like
Right.
I have to like get those stems and put the backing tracks together and then like set up all the tech that goes with that. And then
Mhm.
like that means that we have to play like really tight to the click to the tracks. And like that all has to it's still I think what like people get upset about with that is that we're like somehow cheating, right?
Right.
But it's literally just a different, like slightly different skill set. It's like not taking, I don't know. And also it's really naive to think that any of your favorite massive bands out there are not playing like
Don't have
some kind of track. Yeah.
playback. Yeah.
Playback tech is a whole like
Industry.
it's
Yeah.
a whole role. Yeah. I mean, I work at a rehearsal studio.
Mhm.
And I would say 9 out of 10 bands there. Like my job at this rehearsal studio is basically like check bands in and help them like set their stuff up if they like don't know how to work our boards and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And 9 out of 10 bands there are playing with backing tracks.
Yeah.
So it's just like honestly the only people that aren't are like the old guys that are playing like
Foo Fighters covers.
Right.
well not even
CDC.
yeah, no, like Southern rock and like
Southern rock.
you know
Yeah.
it's just like
Kansas.
yeah so I don't know, I just think it's silly. It is like equivalent to being like don't use auto-tune.
Yeah.
It's just
It's an archaic mentality for sure.
It's archaic. It's elitist. It's dumb.
Yeah. And like you said, like, I mean, it's a whole nother skill set to learn to play to a click and learn to play that tight. Like, I mean, I would like to see a lot of these bands that talk shit about backing tracks, like these, like, you know, these real bands. I would just see them go on stage and right away start playing perfectly in time to a click with another track behind them. Like, that's just something else you kind of have to learn and get accustomed to. Like, it's definitely a skill set.
yeah.
I think also like with our band too, it's like one thing we're just constantly like getting better at is like performance, like not even just musicianship. I mean, we're at least running at like maybe 65% at musicianship, so we're fine, right? Like we're good.
Right.
Speaking for myself, I was speaking for myself.
I would be so offended.
I hold down. Listen, here's what I meant. Out of the three of us, I hold down 65% of the musicianship. So,
dude.
Yeah. So, and no, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I'm pretty good. Anyways, what was I saying? Got on a tangent.
Oh, he's talking about click tracks and.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like we want to put on a really fun performance, and if there's ways that it's going to be more conducive to do that, like that's what we got to do. So yeah.
I just can't imagine giving a shit that much again. Like a lot of these like things we've talked about already. I just can't believe people care that much. Like they're that that upset about it.
Yeah,
but
well,
and
people
then
need something to be mad about,
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys have to deal with like any merch cuts or anything like that at the venues you're playing at?
Yeah, sometimes. Usually, I mean, it's usually Live Nation or AE. I mean, I'll just call it what it is. Fuck it, I don't care. Yeah, it sucks. It's annoying. A lot of times, there's people at the the people that are working those like venues that are having to enforce that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times they cheat their way around it because they don't want to do that to like artists and a lot of art artists too. So like I think there's a lot of camaraderie between like just usually like employees of that level at venues and the smaller artists like us who are probably the first band on the package,
right?
Who might not sell as much as the headliner, and for that tax to even really be worth much,
right?
So I've noticed that kind of like it's an unfortunate situation where there's just these greedy motherfuckers that have no understanding of how hard it is to do this for a living, or try to build a career out of it, that want to steal from people who are basically just small businesses. I mean, it says a lot about the current climate of capitalism and whatnot, but that's again a whole other topic. I think it is nice to see, at least in all of that. Like we just played a show recently and the dude just came up. He's like, I'm not taking shit from you guys.
Cool.
And it's like, we see that quite a bit. And I think we'll see more of that. And I think there will ultimately be a bigger and bigger pushback to that because it's fucking horseshit,
Yeah. And once like bigger bands like start, kind of, I think that's the big problem too, is like not enough bigger bands have tried to counteract against it, and push against it. It's been mostly middle of the road kind of like metal bands, like death metal bands from like Belgium and shit. It's like cool, I mean, we appreciate the support, but nothing's gonna change until Metallica's like, hey, we're not fucking
Taylor Swift. Like someone do something.
Did you see people are bottling the rain from that last Taylor Swift show, and they're selling it on eBay like for thousands of dollars. Yeah, there was that big rainstorm at that Taylor Swift show, for anyone listening, and like it was a big monsoon. It was a pretty big famous news story about it, and people gathered up the rain and are selling it online.
Like, dude, this is crazy. I love Taylor Swift. I respect her like stature in the world and how much of an icon she is, and like, yeah, bad bitch, go off. But like, my roommate just paid $2,000 to go see her show. I'm like,
Jesus,
girl, what?
My God.
And I'm sure not great seats either. Like,
probably
I
not.
just completely dumbfounded. Like, I love music. I love live music. I love to go see my favorite artists, but like, I can't imagine, even if I had the money to do that. I mean, like, that just seems, I don't know, it feels so immoral to me. We cannot ever, like, if we ever get to the point, no more than like $50.
Yeah, $50 cap. We're saying it right now. I'm not going to see Blink-182 this summer, dude, and I'm very sad about it.
It's the price.
I mean, I love, no diss to Blink.
It's so outrageous. I just don't understand.
Yeah, I saw you play a Tom DeLonge hollow body, right?
Yeah, I just got one. It's freaking sick.
Dude, that's so cool. Yeah, I feel like I don't see many people other than Tom DeLonge play that, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think like Matt Thiessen from Reliant K used to play the Tom DeLonge
Hmm.
signature. That's the only other person. Oh, and Martin from Boys Like Girls.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
he?
Yeah.
When the first album came out, yeah, that's what he would play all the time. It just sounds great, honestly.
Yeah.
A lot of like the tones that on our record too, like I'm I mean, speaking for Jason and myself, and also like our buddy Scott, who did most of the engineering or the mixing. Like, I love the sound of Blink's self-titled album,
Yeah.
uh, and I think like obviously that guitar was made for Tom to go out and play those
Oh, yeah.
those live, and it be a simplified version, just like in a guitar. So it sounds really cool. It sounds really cool live. It's so light.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice little it's a nice little ode.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't wear Blink merch on stage and play that guitar.
Yeah, you can never like have them both.
I've set a rule. I've set a
Yeah,
rule.
people will be like, dude, this guy really fucking likes Blink.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I literally can't do that.
I can't tell you how many times I FaceTimed him and he's like, yo, check this out. Blink. He has like
Just decked out head to toe.
dude, I feel like you have Blink underwear. Do you have-
I don't.
Yeah.
That's truly shocking.
But my roommate just bought me an Atticus sweatshirt.
Oh, nice,
for
dude.
$20.
Damn, what a throwback.
On the posh. So
Dude.
I'll be
You'll be
wearing
rocking that. Hot take, man. I think the Untitled album is my favorite album.
It's the best Blink album.
Dude,
It's the most. It's like it's
so
literally
good.
the musicianship and the songwriting is like
Yeah.
I mean we don't need to go. We can talk about our music because it's basically the same. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, back to that, like, did this band, was it just you that started this group initially?
Yeah, started this in like 2017.
Yeah.
And then this is like a post-pandemic, sort of in the pandemic edition.
Okay.
That's that. Even at first, like when we all met, like I was very much like, I feel like, especially coming out of the pandemic, like things were
Yeah.
so uncertain, especially if you're a band like that, Crooked Teeth, like at the size that it was at that time. Like it was such an uncertain time to be like an
Yeah.
artist that size and be like, what do I do?
Yeah.
I was like contemplating so many new like life roles and like
Mm-hmm.
jobs and whatever. And but yeah, then Jason and I met before we didn't met, but we connected before the pandemic. And then moving into the pandemic, I worked with this producer on an EP, and he worked on like Tickets to My Downfall and
Oh, nice.
on Blink's like 9 album and a bunch of that like Travis Barker world kind of stuff. And I like, obviously that's an element to Crooked T that I always want, is like that percussive element, like that really big, cool, like urban, sometimes industrial drums. And so we did like a whole EP, and I was sharing that EP with Jason, like, hey, this is like when I do play shows again, this is what I want to do. And he just like, we just stayed in touch. And then Emma like posted a cover of like a Crooked T song on Instagram.
Oh, no shit.
I reached out and was like, let's link, basically. And then it just like throughout the remainder of like 2021 and into 2022, like playing like some of those festivals and those like some of the biggest shows I've ever played in my life, getting to do it with them and like have this kind of just like, I don't know, it just everything felt and still does like really, like Jason and I were just talking about it on the phone last night. It just feels really like serendipitous.
Yeah.
That we were able to just like, we've just been able to just figure it out. And I don't know. I think it's the, speaking for myself, I think it's the most fun I've had, most like organic fun I've had just playing music probably in my whole life. Like I feel really like supported, and I feel like we're all on the same page of like what we want and what we want to do creatively. And yeah, I don't know. It's fucking
Sounds
tight.
fulfilling for sure.
Yeah.
What do you think was like the first big quote break did you guys got? Like the first part where you're like, oh shit, this might be a career. This isn't just a hobby.
Dude, I
don't know if we've even, to be honest. I think like I
mean, I definitely would say it's more than a hobby right now.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
But
it's like a startup.
Yeah,
you know? It's a startup, but we don't have hundreds of thousands.
Right.
So we're just like working real hard, and I think like, but you know, that's not to say that there haven't been like moments to celebrate. And
yeah,
that,
you
like,
guys got some huge festivals. You signed to a record label. That's big milestones for bands.
Well, no record label yet.
Oh, weren't you? I thought you were on Rude Records.
No, we put out, that was like pre-pandemic.
Oh, no shit.
On Rude. So no, I mean, but
yeah,
to that, like honestly, even more proud of us because we don't have a label. Like we've just been grinding ourselves, and
we don't even have like a team. Like,
we're just you know,
that I think is the thing that, like, your question was like, what made you think like, oh, this could be a career rather than just like a hobby? I think that's the thing that keeps getting me, is like we keep doing these like really cool things without even having like an industry team behind us, which is just like, dude, wait till we have the moment where we have support. I'm so excited for it. But I mean, ultimately also, when like we're in the middle of like releasing this album, that I feel like none of that felt like, oh, hey, we're gonna like go write this record to sell. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of just were like, hey, we've been playing together for like a year. Should we like, do you want to write an album?
Yeah. Honestly, just to have something fulfilling and like to grow into something. I also think like, I mean, Emma and I like are probably, you know, this same with Jason, like in his own sense as a drummer, like I see us being songwriters forever, you know, like I see us like beyond even just the brand of like Crooked Teeth. Like I think being able to just every song, I mean, like, yeah, there's songs that we've co-wrote with people because that's part of the process, and we enjoy that, you know, when we get to do that. But like for the most part, like these are songs that we wrote and that we sat in the studio with our you know, producer Jojo, and like we just like literally just excited ourselves over and obsessed over, and still do. So I think that that's like, just these are the milestones that make us just want to keep going. And I don't think things are always linear in life, and I don't think they are in the music industry. I think there's so many magical things that could happen at any point in the fucking, you know, in the journey. So I'm just grateful like that we get the opportunity to play for new people and get new, you know, opportunities, like even just being here, you know, where new people can be exposed to who we are and our music. Like
around the millions and millions of Jesse Lee fans around the world. Yeah, I mean that's great that like you guys found like fulfillment outside of even like, you know, like you said, it's a grind, it's a struggle, it's a hustle. And you know, when you started working on this new record, did you sit down and like start just like, we're gonna write a record, or did you kind of like piece together songs that you already had, or is there singles that we've heard before that's gonna be on the new record?
That's a good question, actually. I mean, like Promise came out in October of last year, and we had already had Loser done by that point. I think we recorded Loser in like August of 2022. We didn't really know that was going to be on a record. I don't think we formulated a thought that Promise was going to be on a record.
But it was a banger of a track. I love Promise, by the way. So good.
Thank you. Yeah, we didn't really formulate the idea of like, let's just fucking do it until I think November. Like I think like November, December, we were like, January record? Like
yeah.
So then we just decided, you know, which ones to pull. onto the record. And I mean, in full transparency, like in being a DIY band, like we don't really know. I have an idea of how we like formally roll out a record, but it's also 2023.
It's a different landscape for sure.
Landscape, and it's like getting to release a song every 6 weeks and just constantly get people excited over music. Like that's something we can tell everyone is for sure going to keep happening. That we're just going to keep releasing music constantly because that's what we do. But rolling out a record, it's kind of a crazy thing. We're just doing it in our own way at the moment. And yeah.
I think there's like an exciting part too about the way you can release music now, where like you can write a song, record a song, make a fucking TikTok video for it, do all this stuff for it in the span of like a couple weeks and get it out there while it's still fresh and you're still excited about it, rather than like the old model where you wrote something and a year later it finally came out, you know, it's like, oh yeah, that song, like, you know, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah, you were kind of doing that before we like got the
band
we
together.
officially like made it a band. But I mean, we do have songs that we recorded in January that now like likely are not gonna come out until like we don't know. So it does still like feel a bit like that, and that's a weird feeling to start feeling like you're like kind of disconnected from you know,
a song.
You're not in that headspace anymore that you were when you wrote it and recorded it.
But it's still really cool. I'm you know, we're just like we talked about a minute ago, like such songwriters. I'm so proud of our album and like ready to release it and just go through that process. But like I'm also like, cool. What are we?
I'm ready to keep writing. Like there's like songs like the album itself is not even done because we still have like, I mean, I'm thinking like 2 more songs that we want to write. And so that's the thing too. It's like, I'm already like, we have some days off on tour and I haven't really formally brought it up to them. So I guess I will now on the internet. But like, I was like, yo, we should just bring an interface and just on our days off in an Airbnb, just fucking just write songs and always have songs coming in because like that is
good thing she agrees with this since this is the first time she's hearing it.
I think she's so I mean it's such a like writing a song is the most gratifying thing I feel like I can do with music. Like getting to play shows is self-fulfillment. Like they're both self-fulfillment, but like the song it's just something you can share, like you really share. And so any opportunity to write, you know, with really anybody.
The thing is, I think like playing shows is a fleeting moment.
Yeah.
Whereas like, and it is like really viscerally cathartic in this way. That's like, I can jump on stage and for that, like 30 minutes to an hour or whatever we're playing, like that's all I'm focused on for that. That's like, the noise of like the rest of the world goes away. But like writing a song, like that song is there forever. And but what's also really like unique about that is like, I don't know if you've ever thought about like, you will never actually hear the same song in the same way. Like even once it's recorded, like the way that I'm getting like a little off track. And,
get off that track, baby. Let's do it.
But someone presented me this in college once, and then also like I was just reading this book that was talking about it again. But like, you will literally never like experience a song in the exact same way ever again, just because of like physics, right? Like I have listened to the same Paramore songs 25,000 times, but like every time I'm in a different environment, like these sound waves are like quite literally hitting my ears in a different way. So like there is a slight, and so it's just, I don't know, music is really fascinating in that way. Sound in general is really fascinating in that way.
I mean, just even from like a mental standpoint, I love like when you hear a song that you love when you're a high school kid, you're super into it, you're digging it, and then you get older and you hear that same song again, and like you've heard it a million times, but somehow it's like, oh shit, I feel differently about this now.
It's like emotionally it's different for sure.
I think I was thinking that a while ago. I think the first band I thought this with was like Green Day, because like Green Day was like my first really like favorite band. Like I know every lyric, I know every, you know. But I think in high school when I got more into hardcore and just like deeper into punk rock and stuff, they were kind of a band that fell a little bit to the wayside. You know, like I fell out of fandom a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of things because I just like the community of, I think, like mainly like hardcore and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I came back, because I think in your early adulthood, when you're like 23, 24, you start to be more embracive of like your younger, like those guilty pleasures, you
Right.
know, like
Right.
start to be like, oh, actually this slaps. Like
Yeah.
this is no, I'm not calling Green Day like guilty pleasure, but I'm saying like it has potential for things like that to get chalked up to that.
Yeah.
But like basically when I came back and I like got back in a Green Day listening frenzy, I was like, I know it's been so long since I've sat down and like really revisited this specific record or this, you know,
Yeah.
and then I still know every cadence to his voice. I know every line, like, and that's something, you know, I was raised in the church and there was a lot of Bible verses shoved into my fucking head.
Oh,
and
man.
there are probably only 5 that I could even 70% remember, but I could literally recite songs on songs, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so it's crazy.
Do you ever find that sort of thing happen with bands that you don't remember, like holding that high? You know what I mean?
Where you come back to it and you're like, oh shit.
You're like, whoa, I actually like know like that happened to me. That happened to me with Boys Like Girls. Like I knew that I loved them. I knew that I listened to them a ton, but like I never considered them like one of my favorite bands. And then I like put their CD back in my car just like arbitrarily, like sophomore, junior year of college, and I was like, whoa, this actually influenced my like whole life so much. I know every single word to this album, and I can't believe how influential their songwriting was to me. That and like honestly Avril Lavigne too.
Yeah.
I still know. Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, that just happened to me this morning, actually. I was talking to my wife, and she's a big David Bowie fan. And I said, like, I don't really give a shit about David Bowie. And she's like, you don't? I'm like, nah, I really don't. And then, like, she's like, what about it? She, like, starts naming songs. I'm like, well, that's a good song. And she, like, named another one. She named, like, 3 or 4 songs. And I was like, oh, shit, I guess I do like David Bowie. Like, I didn't realize it.
It happened to me when we were young, too.
Yeah.
You know what? Last night it happened because I was listening to that Paul Rudd Dax podcast. And they went on a tangent about Bob Seger. And I was like, oh my God, Bob Seger. And they were like talking, I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. And they were like, Bob Seger is the Midwest Bruce. Like, that's like, okay, I need to revisit Bob Seger. Like, literally song after song after song. I was like, I know I know all of these Bob Seger songs. And
like, oh shit, I like Bob Seger.
Bob Seger for like an hour, and then I was like, I'm gonna go back and listen to the podcast. And where I picked up, they were like, it's crazy because you listen to song after song after song. And I was like,
no, I'm gonna do that.
Crazy how many artists like are just stuck in my
I don't know how that happens, but it totally.
I love it. I love the psychology of it.
Mine when we were young was Bring Me. I was like, my roommate had never heard of Bring Me before, and I was like, you're gonna like them, like it's cool. Like, you know, I'm not like the biggest fan, like I don't like listen to them all the time. I'll probably know like a couple of songs, but they're good, right? And then like I ended up knowing literally every single song and was like, whoa, I'm apparently like a really big fan.
I love how that happened. Yeah, I think a lot of it has especially like the older artists, where it has a lot to do with like the radio. Like we were growing up, you know, that shit was always on, and like that was kind of inescapable.
Well, and it's like back then to get a song, I mean, I guess iTunes kind of came in, but like you still for years into iTunes went and bought a CD for a song. So it's crazy that I think, that's like a crazy thing about like right now. You know, this is my one little side tangent observation, but like I'm 30, and I feel like when I was 14, 15, like up until like I was like 16 or 17, like bands were still like selling records over singles. And so there was this like, and I think that's the crazy thing about the whole When We Were Young and like that era of like emo, the TRL emo like era is what it's like every single one of those bands had like 2 or 3 videos in rotation on TRL and Fuse and MTV2.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of it, they were on every single alternative station because they all worked in tandem. And everyone listened and watched all of that every single day. So it's like the potential to move like hundreds of thousands, millions of albums, like that'll never be the same again. So it's kind of crazy for like rock music, because it's like, how can rock music ever really reach a level of like physical virality like that again? And I think it's interesting, like also to just, when you think about music, like I try not to too much as like a career where everything is totally career based. Because again, it's not linear, but it is wild to think like, what as a rock artist can you do to like secure this like legacy place, like our favorite bands did in us, It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's tough, like you said, because like music, it does become like such a almost disposable form of media because people don't value it enough to pay for it, and people don't value it enough to like, go the extra mile to get it. Unless you put it right there in front of them, on their feed. A lot of times they don't want to fucking engage with it. It's like it's like, oh yeah, I go to a different link to listen to this. I'm not gonna do that. Like, that's unfortunate, man. But not for you guys. People are gonna download this record.
There's so many pre-saves, millions of pre-saves.
Exactly. Did you guys?
Everyone does it. It's so great.
Did you guys? Have you named this little baby yet?
Our album?
Yeah. You don't have to tell us if you're not ready.
I think it is.
Yeah. We it's my favorite player.
The announcement right there. My favorite player.
Actually, yeah, it's a lyric on our next single that's coming out.
Yeah.
Sick.
And yeah, I think like, I mean, I just remember when you sang that for the first time, I was like, that's such like it just like, I don't know, holds weight. I thought about it like in the sense of like just being your number one, like, looking out for number one and embracing like self-love and and just like, that's kind of how I see the title. And
I like literally just realized that we when we were like writing this and sending each other ideas back and forth, we were like, dude, we're really angry. Like, this is kind of an angry record, but also we're putting out 2 songs back to back that are very much about like self-love and like kind of just like getting over yourself and like and I don't know, but the lyric is, well, the song, I guess we can say, we just put out Bleach, right?
Mm-hmm.
But our next single is going to come out on June 23rd, and it's called Over Myself. And the lyric in the bridge is, life is trial and error, I'm my favorite player. And yeah, just like the sentiment is that like, I mean, I feel very much in this place of like, everything that I am doing or have done for the past like a couple of years, honestly, is just like, well, we'll see if it works. I mean, I moved to LA like a year and a half ago, and when we moved, it was like, cool, we'll see how it works for me, and then I think actually the lyric was initially inspired by quitting Starbucks. Because I worked at Starbucks for like 3 months, and when I went to Starbucks, I was like, we'll see if this works. I mean, I don't really know. I definitely don't want to be back in food service, but it feels like it might be a good fit for me. But I guess all we can do is try and see. And then, and so like life is a game of trial and error, and I am my own favorite player. Like,
love it.
And so that's where that lyric came from, and Tyson just like kind of liked it and was like, we should do this as the like album title. And I think it also like sounds good, like coming out of
cool. Like saying it out loud. Yeah, we should say it out loud. It's cool.
I like the official announcement on the Jesse Lee show. That's good.
Yeah, we'll send you you the song first.
Yes, please do. Please send it to me.
Don't leak it to all the millions of people.
I'm gonna put on WeTransfer and send it out to everybody. So do you guys don't have a release date yet for the actual album though, right?
Not yet. Not gonna bullshit you on your own show, dude. Come on.
How dare you?
No, we don't yet, but we will hopefully soon or then later.
Well, let's get some things wrapped up. Do some housekeeping here. Where can everybody listening, all the millions and millions of Jesse Lee fans, where can they find you guys?
Spotify, obviously #1. We could use all the streams we could get there. So you can go to the Spotify link in the bio. You know how it goes. We're a rock band in America. You can find us on
just at Crooked Teeth Rock, right, on all the socials.
Crooked Teeth Rock, baby.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. And then you got the new single coming out in a couple weeks, album TBA. Right. And one thing that my best friend and I, we do weekly FaceTime calls because he lives in a different state. We've been doing them since pre-COVID or around time of COVID. And every week we have beer and chat, and we end every conversation with some good things. Like, what's the good thing that you're looking forward to right now? So I'm gonna try bringing that into the Jesse Lee show. You remember my guinea pigs for this one. First people have asked you. So let me know what's your good thing. It could be personal, it could be professional, whatever.
Wait, good thing.
Good thing.
Ask that question again.
What's a good thing?
Oh, just a good thing that you're looking forward to.
Oh, that I'm looking forward to. Okay, totally. Well, going on tour. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the same. Everyone. I mean, I anticipate that there will be millions of tickets sold.
Yes.
So I'm really highly anticipating.
We're gonna have to expand some rooms for sure.
Bigger rooms, real quick. Sorry, you're gonna need to move that Beatles tribute band to the house.
Fuck yeah.
So I would say tour, just getting out there,
Sick.
And playing a ton of shows, and just getting to continue sharing music with people. Like, not to be corny, just truly super stoked on it. So
excellent.
Yeah. What about you, Jesse? Come on.
My good thing. Interviewing you guys. Obviously, that's my good thing for the week.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. It's my highlight of my day.
Yeah, well, we had a good time.
Yeah, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really appreciate it. I know you guys are busy. I know you guys got a lot of rocking to do, so I won't hold you up too much more.
Tacos right now.
Fuck yeah, dude! I want some tacos now. Damn. Yeah. Good call.
All right, Jesse.
All right, brother. Peace, guys.
Later.